I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
And we are back, and so are you for the final episode of Season 1, White Lines. Welcome to the AfterBuzz TV White Lines After Show. I'm Rob. I'm going to be your hostess mostess for this evening, and I'm not alone. I have two fantastic co-hostess mostess with me. Allie, how we doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. I am super excited to get into this finale episode.
Yes, and we have Ashman. How you doing, Ashman?
I'm so good. Season finale, you guys. What a finale. I'm so excited to talk about it.
Yes. I'm excited and ready to talk about it as well. All kinds of things happened in this episode, and I say this before we start every time. If you have not watched this episode of White Lines yet, I beg you, turn us off and come back to us whenever you finish. I'm telling you, we're getting ready to blow it for you. We're getting ready to blow it for you like a deadbeat dad who didn't show up on a birthday. I'm telling you, turn it off. I'll do the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's get into it. Okay, so this episode, the finale, crazy stuff happening, and I'm just going to give you all who are listening and or watching some quick points that we'll be talking about. But before I get to that, thank you once again for watching, hanging with us each episode day in, day out, and continuing to make us the ESPN of TV talk. Thank you so much. So today's points, we have Boxer cleans up for the last time. And we have Zoe goes full mafioso. And then we have the last biggest, most important bombshell on this list of topics. She killed Axel. I'm not going to say who, but she killed Axel. Now, everybody watching and or listening, there are 3 she's. Actually, there's more than 3 she's. There's a lot of she's on this show. So it could be any she that you've seen on screen at any time. But before we get into that, let's get into your initial thoughts about this episode. How was this finale for you, Ashman?
I love the finale. I love that the main question was answered. That's what we've been looking for all season. So I'm really happy that season 10 or episode 10 did not disappoint with that. Again, it was fast paced, it was packed, a lot of action, a lot of drama. And a lot of the little pieces that we've been looking for, they really did deliver in this episode. But at the same time, there's a lot of questions still left unanswered. So it's really interesting because we got some answers, but we're still waiting on some. But overall, I thought it was wonderful.
And how about you, Allie? How are you feeling about this season 1 finale?
I have to agree. I mean, completely. Like it was a great episode. I was at the edge of my seat practically the whole show. There were a lot of strong and powerful moments, and overall, I was just very captivated. I don't know how else to explain it, but yeah, it was a very, very good ending to season 1.
Yes, and I myself, I had fun. My overall thoughts on it is that I had fun. Um, I was so ready for it to be over because you have all these people who looking like each week someone is a new suspect. It's like Clue or Murder on the Orient Express. Someone is a new suspect every time an episode turns on. And I'm glad that we finally get a face to who did this, and we get to bury this. But I'm glad that we also see a hope for the future. I don't think this is the end. We had some crazy stuff going on with Romanians and Boxer leaving, but I'm glad at the end of it to see Marcus. He looks like he's no longer going to be a useful idiot, or he's going to be a less useful idiot, or more useful less idiot. What either of those situations apply. But let's go ahead and get into our first topic, which is Boxer cleans up for the last time. How did you feel about Boxer going in and cleaning up this crime scene and for the Califat family for the last time, Allie?
Yeah, I think when I saw Boxer cleaning up and doing all of that, I was initially disappointed, because I think we were still taking the hit. Like Zoe's dad just died. Boxer's supposed to like really like her and care about her, and just to see that he would kind of tamper with that whole crime scene and all of the evidence, I was disappointed. But we later do learn that he went on to tell Andreu that he was done working with them. And so I feel like the fact that he did that made it not okay, but it did kind of soften it up a little bit, because I was like, that was it. That was the last time. He's tired of coming to save the day when it comes to Oriel. And I was just really disappointed though that he did clean it up. I don't know. It kind of just sucked to see. But
Mhm.
again, it was the last time, so whatever. I'm at peace with it, I guess.
Yes. Well, to all of you guys in the chat, let us know how you felt about this about the season one finale. But in the meanwhile, Ashman, tell us how you were feeling about this finale, because we got to see maybe possibly Boxer being the person that he wants to be, going out on his own by quitting the family, and now it's for them to clean up their own problems.
Yeah, I mean, has been doing this for a long time. He's tired. I mean, he has buried a lot of bodies and cleaned up a lot of messes. So I think it wasn't just Zoe. She may have been like the kind of initial, almost like green light for him to say, I don't want to do this anymore, because he's just tired. He's been, so many times Oriel has called him and everyone's always calling him. And I get it, that's been a part of his job, but he has changed. He is older now. He doesn't want to live on top of the club anymore. And I think he's just tired of having his hands involved in all these things when really he's not the one creating all this stuff. So him going up and cleaning up, I just thought it's something that he's used to doing. He was still on the job, and I think when that family calls upon him, this is what he goes and does. So he was just doing his job like he normally does, but it didn't sit with him the same as usually he's able to just move on from it.
Yeah, and just to piggyback off of what you said, yes, he's been cleaning up after this family for over 20 years, and the band has to break up at some point. I mean, the Beatles, the Stones, well, they're still together, but like, you know what I'm saying? No, but with Axel, I mean, with Boxer, Boxer is like, he's been going through this whole crisis of like, wanting something different from what he's been doing for the last 20 years. Hanging out in Ibiza, the manager of the clubs, he has the girls going in and out, he's making good money. Um, and just doing that whole lifestyle, he's over it. And I think what made him get to this is because not only is he cleaning up after, the Califat family, now he's got Zoe coming onto the island and he's cleaning up after her. Then Zoe screws up stuff for Marcus. Now he's cleaning up after Marcus. So it's just a bunch of people that he was cleaning up. And like my own mother used to say it when I was a kid, when we didn't clean, she would say, hey, the maid quit. You guys got to clean up, your own messes. And I think him coming and saving Oriel, because Oriel, like everybody else on the island, calls him when he's in a jam, when he's, breaks free from his captors, um, which was Clint, Zoe's dad. And once again, Boxer had to clean it up. And I think this was just it for Boxer. I think the cleaning was done after this. And honestly, I'm glad to see him grow some spine and say, hey, I'm done with this. I'm moving on to something else. Um, well, so before we get to our next points, there's a couple points that we should talk about, because we got to see Oriel tell his parents that he's been kidnapped. And the interesting thing about him being kidnapped is that Boxer comes and cleans him up and gives him new clothes, and he finds one of the glass eye from the Romanian in the pocket, and then he goes over to his family and tell them, okay, hey, I was kidnapped by the Martinez family, but I killed the guy that kidnapped me. But we all know that that wasn't true. He wasn't kidnapped. And so the take for me is I was confused whether did he really change? Did Oriel change in this moment, or is he still like this scummy guy who will lie and do things? What did you think about that, Allie, when Oriel had the conversation with his parents about being kidnapped?
I'm glad you brought that up because I was wondering what you guys thought because for a moment I was like, is he lying right now? Is he still back in his old bad ways? Or was he actually, maybe he didn't know? I mean, think about it.
Mm.
He was in that bathroom, he had blood all over his face from his trip in the woods and everything. He could have still been coming down from the drugs. We don't know how messed up he was during that whole scene where Clint died. So maybe he thought it really was one of the Martinez, maybe he was just so messed up that that's what he thought, or was he just scheming? I don't know.
That's true. I didn't think about that. Well, Ashman, what's your angle on this?
I mean, it's kind of unknown for me as well. I mean, I actually thought he lied about it because, like, Pepe Martinez, I don't know where he would get that from. He was nowhere to be seen or found. So I don't know why he threw his name in the mix. And I actually do think he was kidnapped. Like, he was honest about that because the dad did
Yeah.
kidnap him from the scene and he was locked up in the bathroom. So I feel like when he came out, there was no sign of anyone from the Martinez family there. And maybe he just told that to his dad. I don't know. I have no idea why he
Yeah.
mentioned their name in there. But I do think he went to them to try to get like validation and approval. I mean, he wanted to say once again, I took care of it. I'm not scared anymore. But that's not really true. He didn't take care of anything. The accident is the one. Well, he was choking Clint, but it was the accident overall that killed him. So I think he's still a little confused. He must be coming off the drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, those hallucinogens, they have one hell of an afterglow. From what I've been told, they have a really bad afterglow, and like you spend a lot of your time trying to figure out if you are indeed sober now. But I'd never done mescaline, so I don't know how that goes. I just heard it's one crazy ride that you don't want
And
to try
guys,
so much.
we have Missy Mesmond in our chat that says when she picks up that screwdriver and rams it in his head, wanted to vomit. What a horrible way to go. So we are right
Agreed.
there with you, Missy. That was crazy. Thank you for sharing your thought.
Yes, we're definitely going to get to that. That's
Yeah.
one of my points. Um, but yeah, before we hit our next topic, let's talk about one person in particular, the person, the useful idiot, Marcus. So Marcus had a little bit of a tough day again. He had a tough day. He had Kika telling him that Anna was sleeping with Marcus, or excuse me, sleeping with Axel back in the day, which that really hurt him. And then you have Marcus getting picked up by not the Romanians, but the wives of the Romanians, which I told you,
You
ladies,
called
before,
it.
there's never one or two Romanians, there's a bunch of Romanians. And I love how they came and picked him up in the back of the truck. But I want to hear what you saw, Allie, with this whole situation with Marcus being told about Axel and Anna, and then Marcus going on the little field trip with the Romanians.
Okay. So when Kika first told Marcus about Anna, I was kind of shocked that he had no idea. I don't know. At this point in the show, guys, like, tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like everyone has slept with everyone at this point, especially Axel. So I was a little bit not fazed by that information. I was like, of course they did. And Anna, she's like the most sexual one on the whole show. So I was kind of like, okay, that news didn't faze me, but we saw it that it definitely fazed Marcus. So the fact that he had no idea, I felt for him, especially when we kept getting the flashbacks and seeing their wedding and how unique and special their love was. I definitely felt bad for Marcus, and I felt worse for Marcus when the Romanians showed up. And as soon as the girls were there, I kind of wondered, I was like, this can't be good. And as soon as they said that they were the wives of the Romanians, I was like, this is not good. And I thought for sure Marcus was about to get like thrown off in the ocean, lose a leg. I thought something serious was about to go down with him. Yeah, I did not think he was going to get let off as easily as he did. I mean, yeah, he owes the money, but I was just so happy that they left and he was alive, breathing, because I thought he was going to die. I really thought that that was about to be like the big moment of this finale. So, yeah, that was crazy.
Yes. And Ashman, what were your thoughts on Marcus's new troubles?
Yeah, I'm glad Kika told Marcus about Anna and Axel. I think it's about time he knows. Like he had Anna on a pedestal for so long, and she had him believing something that wasn't necessarily true. Like she was not faithful to him, and let alone she was sleeping with his best friend. So I know that hurt him, but I'm glad that he knows now because even in his transition period of getting over her, now he could kind of see it in its entirety of what it's been opposed to what he's just wanted to see. So that was good for him. And as far as the Romanians, when the girls came up to the door, I'm like, Marcus, don't be stupid, like do not fall in this plot right now. You have two women trying to lure him in, and he kind of started flirting a little bit. He was a little bit skeptical, and I was like, dude, do not get yourself caught up. Like you have every reason to be skeptical. And I don't think he was very smart. When they went through his phone, why did he have all those messages still saved? Why would you ever have that
Yeah,
stuff
I
still
wondered the
saved in
same
your phone?
thing.
I was like, Marcus, what are you thinking?
Real.
You're just waiting to be caught. Like, that's the easiest way to clear your tracks. And, they're reading voice messages, they're looking at the call log. And I'm like, you're
Yeah.
an idiot. Like,
Yeah.
if you get yourself in more trouble here, this one is just all on you. And I think he's lucky that he didn't get in more trouble than he really could have. Because the last time they did crush his leg. So I didn't know what would happen this time. But just a little debt is not, I guess, not too bad.
Yeah, compared to being underground, yeah, it's not too bad. My feeling is whenever all this happened, number one, it sucks that Marcus had to find out that way from Kika. Like I would have rather that it came out another way because all these years he thought he was doing the right thing by working with Kika and staying with Kika when it was actually not that it wasn't like that so much. So yeah, that sucks for him. But at the same time, I'm glad that happened because that allowed him to be pushed over the edge to get over it. And yeah, sometimes you need somebody to rip the band-aid off, and that's what happened with him and Kika. As far as the Romanian the wives of Gregory and Igor, or
Yeah,
Gregory and Igor, I
something like
believe. Yeah, so for me, if I would have been Marcus, when I walked up to that door and I heard an accent that sounded even close to the Romanians, I would have freaked out. I definitely wouldn't have given my phone. I wouldn't have left the premises. I would have called the boss, like, "Hey, boss, my
Exactly.
new
Call security.
yeah,
Yeah.
hey, we got problems here." And then just so many things that I didn't get with Marcus, and this is why I call him, a useful idiot, because why would you walk out to the truck and grab good in the truck? Why wouldn't you just snatch the phone back and run in the house? Like even with a bad leg, I would have limped my butt
Yep. Me
into
too.
the house. So I don't understand what he was thinking. But
No.
yeah, Marcus, man, I'm glad that it happened. I'm really glad that all this happened because now Marcus has not a clean slate, but a cleaner slate than what it was. And I think the ladies knew that he had something to do with their husbands dying, but I honestly think they didn't care that much. I think they cared, but not so
They
much.
want the money. Yeah, they did not
Exactly.
care.
They want the money. So before we hit our next topic, I just want to say thank you to all the listeners and or viewers that have watched and listened to the show. You guys continue to make us the ESPN of TV talk by joining in on our podcast and tapings on YouTube. Thank you so much for sticking through it with us, and also thank you for watching the show with us. It's not just us three watching this. It's you guys doing this, and we do this for you guys. So thank you once again. And also like, subscribe, share, tell everybody about this. We have many shows on this network. If you have a show, if you think about a show that you like, we probably have a show for it. So just come to AfterBuzzTV.com and check us out. So our next point that I would like to bring up would be Zoe going full mafioso. I would love to go first, but I'm not gonna go first. I'm gonna let the ladies go first because I saw some badass lady mobster stuff going on with Zoe. And what do you think about all of it, Ashman?
Um, I think it's kind of what Ali said in the last conversation. She was like, Zoe's gonna go mad. And that's exactly what she did. After she saw her father, I think everything kind of snapped for her. And she was just so furious. And with all the adrenaline I think she's had from her whole murder mystery with her brother and now her dad, she just became cold. She went cold. She's like, I don't care who it is. I don't trust anyone. Like, I need to figure out what this is. And Boxer was her first suspect. As we see when she goes into the police station, we get the background between the father Clint and Boxer 20 years ago. So now we do know that he did care about his son and he was on a mission. And it's not like he just forgot about him and didn't want to open the story. He went looking for it. And it was Boxer that threatened him off the island and was like, if you don't, I'm going to come after your daughter. So I feel like when Zoe heard that, that's all she needed to hear. Because now she's looking at this guy. She's like, you've been manipulating me all along. You've been sleeping with me. You've been feeding me. Like, are you the one that has done this to my entire family? And now you're playing me. And then we just see her, tunnel vision. I don't think she even cared to know anything else. She was just like, I'm taking you down and I don't care what that means. And that's exactly kind of what she did in her own Zoe fashion.
So, Ali, I have to know what you thought about Zoe Coleon.
I loved it. And it was really weird because I've been such a fan of Boxer. I mean, we all have. And to see her just take him out with her car, it sounds so weird, but I was like, yes, girl, like get him, because I didn't trust him in this moment. And after hearing everything that the cops told Zoe, and this is a cop who's been friends with her father, who she trusts. And, she just lost her dad. And I'm sure at that moment it was nice to have someone that she knew was like on her side and as friends of someone in the family. And she totally listened and she believed him and she went after Boxer. And I can't even say I wouldn't have done the same thing, because that is just such an insane thing to go through. I can't imagine. And I don't know, I think that the anger she had for him was totally fair. And I don't really think she was out of line at all.
Whoa.
Sounds crazy, but
Whoa, okay. So I'm not the only one who loves the psychos here. I am not the only one. Okay. So for me, man, when she ran, okay, so a lot to unpack about this, I guess her discovering, he could possibly the murder of the brother and the father. Okay. Yes, that can make someone going into an insane rage and do some things. But what she did was a whole nother level. Like, wasn't even like tactical about it. Just like, I'm just going to run him down, throw him in the back of the car, and then drive him to a location where I can talk to him / torture him with a pressure hose, that's a pretty interesting way. That probably stings. But that's one of those old school mafia things. Like, man, you're going to tell us what you know, or I'm going to beat you until I feel like you've told us enough. And just Zoe staying with it and doing it. And then also one final thing I want to talk about before we switch to the next thing is that she stayed in that moment. She didn't break. She didn't break until she got the answers that she wanted to get. Then she broke. Like, he had to call up someone else to come and help tell the story for Zoe to like finally let him go. That's what I was saying in previous episodes. We witnessed Zoe turn into a whole completely different person, completely different beast. And I'm with you, Allie. I was kind of for it. I mean, when she hit the man with the car, I was like, damn, that's messed up because, you know, this guy like helped her out a lot. But at
That
the
was
same time, I mean, hey, if you think somebody deserves it, if you feel like they killed your father and your brother, then hey, things have to happen. So before we go, this is one more thing we should probably talk about before Marcus. Um, before we go to our last point, we should talk about Marcus confronting confronting Anna. Well, you know what? No, that's packaged in the next segment. Let's just go ahead and talk about she killed Axel. Okay, when I say she, spoiler alert. Hope you've watched this already. If you haven't, please pause once again and go watch it. But Anna is the one who killed Axel, and I didn't expect this at all. And there's so much to unpack with this, with all of this. Allie, you go first and unpack it for us, and we'll help you along the way because there's a lot to unpack out of this.
Yeah, I don't know how to unpack it, but just assuming that everyone has watched it already because it was a lot. I I just want to say I was completely shocked, and I was almost shocked at myself because I just want to say the past two episodes I have not cared for Anna's character, and I've kind of been saying that I'm like she's not sitting well with me, but I did not think she was capable of doing. I just thought she was a little bit too chill of a mom. I did not think she was capable of murder. And I I guess I'll just go ahead. But like when first she watched Zoe torture Boxer and she just sat there. I mean, let alone she's sat on this lie for 20 years now. So I'm not too surprised she can go a little bit longer, but she knows now that the truth is going to come out. I wish Zoe took that pressure hose in episode one and she would have gotten her answers. Not really, but you know what I mean? Like she's finally just tired. She does not trust any of these people anymore who she thought were her close friends. Um, and when we learned it was Anna, I was just very kind of disgusted almost. And you could just see that in Zoe. Like she didn't even have the words to fight or any energy left. She was just she felt betrayed. And Anna not only, she kind of covered it up a little bit. Like when we see, I don't know how far you want me to go into it right now, but I'll just go ahead and say
Okay,
that
do your thing.
that when we first see Axel kind of overdosing or something happened with the drugs and he starts bleeding and choking and she drowned him and she told Marcus that she was just like, she kind of pushed him under the water a little bit and he didn't come up. No, she completely drowned him. And then when we learn, oh, there's just so much, but when we learned that she stabbed him with the screwdriver and Marcus ran him over with the car. They 100% were the murderers. They had so many opportunities to try to save his life and they didn't. And we should have seen it coming, right? Because the very beginning episode, Marcus and Anna always kept saying we've had each other's backs, and we always kind of wondered there was something off about it. But we liked them, so we were like, no, they wouldn't do that, but they did it, and I don't know. I was just shocked.
Mm. I think everybody that watched this was shocked. Ashman, help Allie unpack some more of this, please.
For sure,
Yes.
for sure. Okay, so Anna, I was surprised, but I wasn't surprised. And the reason for that is the previous episode when we did hear about Marcus and Anna saying we are good at covering up things, that kind of never left me. The part that I couldn't piece together is what would be their motive. Now, looking at the scene, I mean, Axel had just caused so much drama for everyone. Like the only thing that I can give that kid is that at least he was determined enough to make his dreams happen, right? We got to
Yeah.
give credit where it's due. He was reckless and he was a mess. And I certainly would never want to know somebody like that. But he did accomplish what he went to Ibiza for. But now, how many people he screwed over in the process? Like, tensions are going to build high. And I feel like they let him go with so many things, but his last kind of like nail in the coffin was burning all their money, all their profits, everything that they all worked so hard together for. And I'm like, that would make somebody snap. It's one thing what you want to do with your own portion, but to sit there and selfishly take away from everyone and not even tell everyone, and just because it felt right to you, I'm like, when you act on that level, you just don't know what you're going to get from whom. And I think that's what's kind of happened to him. And to be honest with you, if it wasn't Anna and Marcus, it was just going to be a matter of time. Somebody else was going to set off to kill him. Like he was on the hit list of so many people. So as far as Anna goes, I mean, she was sleeping with him, like all those different things. I think she was so built up. And in her confession to Zoe, she said it. She was like, it wasn't the things he said to me. It wasn't even about their personal drama. It was how he just took away their entire fortune for the future. And I think that made her snap. What I'm not sure about is he began choking after he drank whatever was in his cup, but the
Yeah.
prior autopsy report said there was some type of poison in there from a peacock. So I don't know, did she poison his drink? Did he OD? Like, what caused him to start choking? I know she initially drowned him, but what was that initial part that got him choked up? Do you guys know?
Ooh.
Yeah, he did. The problem was he had did too many drugs, and the last one. Remember, he was having like a 24-hour party for his 24th birthday,
Right.
and that last one was like, okay, it started messing with his breathing, but and then, his body function as well. Now he could have probably been saved if she just like put him on the side and called for help. Yes, but no, due to him being put down in there in the water and choking, that caused him to pass out. But then, crazy, all the drugs he was taking is what brought him back to life in the trunk. So I
Yeah.
guess it was like I don't know, I think it was a mixture of all the stuff, all the drugs, all the partying for that night. And then remember the peacock feathers is because this fool had a peacock at his party, white peacock, and
Okay.
that went into his lungs when he was in the
Okay.
water.
So
Uh,
earlier.
then I guess that goes to show that, it's not like she initially plotted the kill on him. Like,
Right.
Right.
it's
That's
not
true.
like she poisoned him or put something in his drink. He OD'd on his own. And I think when he was helpless, she just reacted. And I guess that's kind of good to know. It's not like Anna is this killer and out on the
I
mission
don't
to
know.
kill him and plotted. But
True.
she did finish him off at the end, which she could have went about it differently for sure. But I guess
Yes.
her crazy nature got the best of her.
Yeah, and I think that would make anybody infuriated. You have to think about it like they to just to for me to add more context to it, like for myself, like if I had moved all the way from another country to another country to work with you, and I'm helping you make music and stuff. um we're all one crew working together, and then you take my money, our money, and you sell our tracks, and as Boxer said, cheaper, way a very good price, cheaper than what you would normally get. You take our tracks, you sell them, you get the money, and then you burn it in some kind of stupid ceremony to symbolize you're starting anew. Do that with your own stuff. Don't do that with our property. Now the thing is, he is a friend, and you can't just go and do that. Like, this is something you have to have a conversation with, and then just leave him. Maybe you could have went to Oriel and the family and tried to work out some kind of deal. Like, hey, I know this happened. But give me something. Employ me something to help me out. But so real quick with him, with that whole scene, one thing I want to discuss is that she made Marcus get in on this too, which was, I thought, was very manipulative and wrong. She knows that guy would do anything for her, and the fact that like this guy is not dead yet, and they're gonna send me to prison, they're gonna catch me, they're gonna take me away, and then do something. He does something and hits his friend, runs his friend down. That, I didn't think that was cool. I thought that was Anna using it. She's not the greatest person. She worked hard to finish that job. She had Marcus run him down. She beat him in the head with a wrench. And then when that didn't work, she stabbed him in the back of the throat. After drowning, she went through a lot of crap trying to kill this dude. This dude was
Mhm.
harder to kill than bacteria. Like really, she had a
It's
problem.
like a cockroach.
Yes, only a nuclear blast can take this out. But no, I thought that was very scummy with her. And just to wrap up, guys, the whole ending. Anna is a piece of crap, and she still got away and got married and all that. But before we, go to our next segments and stuff, what did you all think about the ending? The whole like Marcus is now the new boxer. Anna gets married to George anyway. And then Zoe, we don't know what Zoe's path is. We know that she threw the ashes of her brother and father out over the sea. But we don't know if she's going home or staying there. What did you all think of all this, Allie?
Yeah, honestly, I'm just still caught up over the whole Anna thing, and I just want to say, I I don't know about you guys, but I do not feel like they kept saying, "Well, he was our friend," and I'm like, where and when? Because I have not seen Axel in one of these scenes like be an actual friend to any of them. He provoked them, he manipulated them, he stole all their money. They moved to Ibiza with him. And so I totally get, I guess it's still not excusable, of course, but I get Anna in the moment drowning him because she's mad. And I could maybe have understood her in that moment. But when she manipulated Marcus to run him over with the car, and the fact that she was able to just literally take his life in such a, like, I don't know, messed up personal way by stabbing him, she's a killer. I don't feel for her. And the fact that she could unveil all of that to Zoe, finally get it off her chest after all of these years, and then go marry this man that she does not even love. And she had one guest, which was her sad daughter, who the guy doesn't even like. I was just so not there for any of that. And I'm not there for Anna. And all because she did not want to tell Marcus that she cheated on him. Like, come on. All of this just because of one simple conversation. I mean, not simple, it would have been a hard conversation, but that's life. And she didn't take responsibility. And I'm just not there for Anna. But as for Marcus being the new boxer, I'm there for that. That'll be interesting and that'll be funny. And I'm just glad that Boxer's getting out of that business. I hope Zoe, now that she has the truth, I think we're gonna see her spiral a little bit. I think she's gonna have problems trusting people. I think she's maybe gonna want to get revenge. We're gonna see a dark side of Zoe, but I'm hoping her and Boxer will somehow be able to like rekindle their romance at the end of the day. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Season 2. Ashman, what are your thoughts on the whole Marcus becoming a new boxer and then Zoe's open ending?
Yeah, I'll start off with Zoe. I'm glad she got the answers she's needed. She could finally close this chapter of her life, and we see her freeing the ashes, taking a dip in the water. So I'm really happy for her there. What she's gonna do, go back to Manchester, stay in Ibiza, I have no idea. I think Ibiza almost might have too much history there for her to
Mhm.
stay, but who knows? She does have boxers, so she might want to stick around for him. As far as Marcus being the new boxer, I mean, we've seen Andreu laugh at him. I don't think that's gonna. I don't think he can be the new boxer, right? I mean, he just does not have the skill set or the savviness. But so I don't think he'll be the new boxer, but he might get a little bit of pool somewhere in the family and some type of job to help pay his debt off. But yeah, I don't see him. I don't see him being the head of security by any means. And as far as Anna goes, I mean, I do agree. At the end of the day, it's not justifiable, right? Like a killer is a killer, and she did go and finish the job, and it was brutal the way she did it. I mean, I don't think anyone can justify that, right? At the end of the day, yes, it's almost like she has gotten so far, she had to finish him off. But it doesn't change the fact that you did kill a man, regardless of what type of man he was. I think as far as her getting married to George, I think that's a way of her closing the chapter to this part of her life. She's just like, okay, I'm no more Marcus, no more this. Like she said at her wedding, she's like, this is the most free I've ever felt in so long. She's been carrying this weight forever. So, I mean, but I think she can try to move on, but that doesn't necessarily mean she will move on. So that's my kind of thoughts around that.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of life would there would be for her back in Manchester now with all this new information, cheating on the husband, the dad dying, and then um like your friend killing your brother. Oh my goodness. Like, yeah, it's a whole new world for Zoe, and maybe she should stay in Ibiza for a little bit and see what happens and then go back. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe hang out with the guru David. Maybe they can have some psychedelic frogs and see what happens. But with Marcus being the new boxer, yeah, that was very laughable. I laughed myself when he said the new boxer.
I did too.
Like,
Yeah.
you can't, you don't. I mean, you just stood up to Anna a day that day. Like, don't, let's not get ahead of ourselves here. And now you want to be the connection that will go from Amsterdam to Afghanistan. Afghanistan. Come on now. He wouldn't go to Albania, Afghanistan. Okay. So Marcus, I think that move for him was totally selfish. I think that was like, okay, well, the wives of the Romanians just visited me and I need to do something else. You know what? Maybe I can talk to my new rich boss and say, hey, maybe I can make some deals and possibly make this money back, and not have to deal with those Romanians anymore. So Marcus, he's I call him a useful idiot, but this time he's actually not being an idiot about it. He's actually kind of smart. I'm going to get somebody else to fix my problems by presenting myself as a connection or um, as a, I don't know, a tool, conduit for them to the world of drugs and stuff. But let's get away from that. I really had fun with this last episode, and I want to get into some predictions of what we think we're going to see next season, because this isn't over at all. Like, we already know there's more stuff coming, but we'll get into the predictions after we get into our special segment and news. So, which one of you guys want to go first? Allie, Ashman?
I can go.
Yeah.
Okay, Ashman.
So as far as special segment goes, I mean, clearly the buzz is there going to be a season 2, right? Everyone has loved this series. Everyone is still hooked, and there's so many questions still left unanswered. So according to Heart K UK, this show right now is the show of the summer. Like, this is what is known as, like, guys, if you need a thrill, if you need everything for your summer to get going, you need to tune into White Lines. So I'm really excited. We were the chosen panel to review this show. According to Netflix, no official announcements have been released for a season 2, but the ratings and the streaming looks incredibly possible for a season 2. And lastly, from the creators, they actually started this show planning for there to be 3 different series. So there might be 3 seasons, 2 more to come, although we still don't know until all the ratings do come in. So that kind of makes sense why we have some new storylines, some unanswered questions, because the initial creators were going for 3 seasons of this. So hopefully it all happens.
Well, Ashman, thank you for that segment, and also
Of
thank you for
course.
giving me hope for another time to be working with you fantastic people on this show,
Likewise.
talking about White Lines. Allie, what do you have for us?
I'm piggybacking right off of Ashman because all the news that I had for you guys was also about a potential season 2. And again, 3 days ago, this show was Netflix's #1. So I'm going to go ahead and definitely, I would be surprised if there was not a season 2. And like Ashman said, the creators planned for 3 seasons. And so far, the reviews have been great. People are loving the show. It's all over Twitter. We all want a season 2. So I'm going to go ahead and just assume we're going to get it. So we better.
Yes, I think they should. I think there's going to be another one the way it ended, and thank you both for helping for giving me the knowledge and making me feel a little bit better. So with this, oh, but before we go, yes, shout out to the creators of this show. I mean, these guys worked on other shows. Well, Alex Pena has worked on another show. Of course, you may or may not have heard of it. It's called La Casa de Papel, or The House of Paper, and very, very famous show. Everybody loves it. Smart guy, smart like filmmaking and writing, and keep it up. You will be living in the real La Casa de Papel, which will be your house from all this money from Netflix you're getting. But let's go ahead and get into the predictions for next season. What do you all see happening next season, Ashman?
I'm going to keep it simple. I have no predictions for season 2. I just hope there is a season 2.
Mhm. Okay,
That's
what about
great.
you,
I love
Allie?
that. Totally agree. And I hope we get um, more answers. I hope Zoe and Boxer work their things out and bond together. And I want to see Zoe stay in Ibiza.
Okay. Well, my predictions, I think Zoe's going to stay in Ibiza for a little bit and figure some things out. I think Boxer is going to try to get out of the game. He's going to stay out of the game, but something's going to happen, and I believe it's going to be in revolving around our useful idiot Marcus. He's going to do something, and it's going to pull Boxer back in. Andreu is probably going to have to call in a favor and do something because of Marcus. And Anna hasn't seen the wrath yet. I think Anna's going to Zoe, I think, is going to get some kind of revenge for what has happened. I don't think that's going to go, and maybe possibly we'll see another one of Zoe's family members come over, because now the dad is gone, and so that's two members of one family gone, with one living family member left of the immediate family. I think the outside family is going to look into this
All
and
of
see what
her
happens.
cousins are just going to slowly
Yes, we're going to
come and
see
die.
some noise being made from some guys from Manchester, hopefully. So before we go, I just want to once again thank you and Ashman, Allie and Ashman, for being awesome, fantastic co-host this year, always hitting us with another angle just when we thought we had it, giving us something to think about, insights, and just keeping the flow going and making this an awesome show. Thank you so much. Um, thank you for all you guys who tuned in once again this season. Hopefully we see you next season. But until then, Ashman, tell everybody where they can find you at.
You could find me on Instagram at Insights by Ish.
Okay, and Allie, where can everybody find you at?
Yes, you can find me at Instagram at Alexandra James.
And you guys can find me on Instagram, and that's at Rob Stelo, ROBSTEELO. If you're a fan of Rick and Morty, you can find me here on the AfterBuzz TV Rick and Morty After Show. Thank you so much again for tuning in with us this season to watch the first season of White Lines. Hopefully we see you guys next season. Buzz you later.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.